What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Scores! He did it again!
I just killed him. Before the game, I just killed John Madden because of a stink bomb.
Split special teamers, and now Brown is off to the races. Hurdles, kicks him in.
Giants are coming off a worse week than Harvey Weinstein.
That was the most exciting thing to happen tonight.
Game's over. Game is finally fucking be over.
Ed, you got to turn your mic on. I think. Got his hand on the button.
And now, our feature.
Hey guys, how you doing tonight? It's been a long while.
Hi.
What's up?
Congratulations, we all made it here.
Yeah, on time.
Yeah, on time. This can't be a good thing because that means we'll never be on time the rest of the year when we actually get going to the show. But we're doing a pre-draft special to talk about all the craziness that happened this past offseason because it was like we went off the air and all hell broke loose.
Yes, it did.
Pretty much.
It was like one trade after another with her big giant money or big giant like picks and whatnot, and we were like, "Holy crap! What the hell's going on?"
So is it just me, or does it feel like that this year's between the Super Bowl and the draft was a really short time frame, just because it was so filled with so much going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I would agree.
It was insane the amount of players that was going on to the point where we forgot somebody even got arrested at the Pro Bowl.
Yes.
Right. And it was so short to the fact that I was like looking at some stuff the other day, and I had to remind myself that the Super Bowl was 23-20. It was a very close competitive Super Bowl.
Yep.
I forgot it was a good game.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was so long ago.
And that halftime was incredible for us younger people.
Mm-hmm.
Throwback to when rap was real rap and hip hop was real hip hop. Not what this is now. All right, guys. So Smitty was so kind enough to make sure he put down everything that happened this offseason. So we're going to try and just hit on the highlights for some things and talk about stuff. Jerry's got a question for Smitty that's going to make his brain explode. And ready to get going on this, guys?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
All right. So, Smitty, you start off with this top thing, right?
Oh, the very first thing on the list?
Yes. Do we want to talk about it, guys?
I mean, we can touch on it.
It should be mentioned.
Okay.
And that would be that Dwayne Haskin, quarterback for Pittsburgh, was hit by a truck and killed about 2 weeks ago, I guess. And I just would think that, we should thoughts and prayers to his family and his friends. And it's a travesty. It should have happened, but it does happen. And I just feel bad for him and his family. Well, I feel bad for him because, he's obviously in a better place, or no other place, depending on what you believe. So,
yeah, I know Washington, I believe, is doing some type of tribute for him, as well as the Steelers. I know Ohio State did a tribute during their spring game. C.J. Stroud actually wore number 7 and wore Haskins' jersey during the spring game. So I know the Ohio State community is taking this loss, very seriously. But yeah, like Smitty said, our thoughts and prayers go out to, the Haskins family.
Yeah. So,
all right. So let's move on to a little bit later of notes. So let's start off with my division, the AFC East. Well, and Smitty's.
It's Smitty's division too.
It's most of our division. Chris is the only one, the odd man out here now.
But he still has the AFC part, though.
Yes, he is still in the AFC. So let's start with the Buffalo Bills. They had signings of Von Miller, OJ.
Whoa. Who?
Von Miller.
Yeah.
That's what I said, right?
Because I don't know who
You said Von Miller the first time.
I could have sworn I said
Von Miller sounds like a enemy, like a
Bond villain.
Sounds like you should be like partners with Victor Von Doom.
Von Miller.
Von Miller, OJ Howard, Jordan Phillips, Tim Settle, and Roger Stafford III. So
I think O.J. Howard might be the biggest. Well, maybe Phillips, because I mean Von Miller's big, but he's kind of
getting older.
Yeah, he's starting to hit that age.
Yeah, I was gonna say O.J. Howard might be the biggest weapon that they really picked up this year.
Well,
Phillips.
I think the reason they really picked up Von Miller is because they needed some older knowledge in the defense, and I think that's where they were lacking most. So that's going to be a huge help for them. Somebody that's been there.
2 downs.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know. He was coming off the injury, so he's not that old. I mean, he did sign what, a 10-year deal or something?
Yes, it was some crazy deal.
I thought he was like 31.
No, I think he just turned 30.
Okay, well that's when they, who knows anymore?
Yeah,
exactly.
Anymore.
The timetable for for a football player is being reset every year. It seems like now.
Yes. Yes.
It literally is play until you can't play no more.
It's play until your wife tells you you're done.
Yes.
And then your wife gets sick of you and says, okay, you can go back and play.
Yeah. He didn't even make it 3 months. But we'll get there.
Well, we know what happened there. We know that was a big controversy. We know what happened there.
All right, now let's get
He
to
retired for a reason.
Now that we're going from New York, we're going to go all the way down to Florida. The Miami Dolphins traded away their life for the Tyreek Hill. They got Tyrone Armstead, Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, and Cedric Wilson.
They also got Connors from Dallas, the guard.
Really?
All-star guard. All-pro guard over there.
Miami's done a lot. Miami's done a lot to beef up that offensive line.
So
and they need
I think the sleeper in that, honestly, is going to be Mostert.
Yeah, he was good for a while.
As long as he can stay healthy, I think because I had him in the fantasy draft, and before he got hurt, he was consistent with points.
He is.
Yeah.
And all that, but none of that's going to matter if they didn't have a line.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need that line to really.
And that's why the Armstead signing and the Connor signing were so huge for them. Because, I mean, I like Tyreek Hill, and I wouldn't have traded what they traded for him, but I don't own the Dolphins.
Or paid him what they paid him.
Right. Yeah. But he ain't going to do nothing for you if every time you hike the ball, a defense is in your backfield. It doesn't matter, how you fast or if the ball don't get to you. So
my question for you college fans, did Tua have a good enough arm before his knee issue that if he has time, he could throw it deep to Tyreek Hill?
I can tell you now he does. There's actually a video out there right now of him throwing a 70-yard ball. Now, whether it was actually on point, I mean,
he has the arm strength. I don't know necessarily. I haven't seen him with the accuracy with the deep ball. I know he has the strength to do it.
Yeah,
it's whether or not he can drop it in there.
The thing is, all you got to do is just bomb it and let Tyreek run to it.
That's true. Well, I mean, apparently, I'm not sure how true this is. I just read statistics. He was the third most accurate quarterback for 40 yards or further last year.
Wow.
Oh, that's something I didn't know. That's why I wanted to ask the question.
I did not. I don't know if that's true. I don't know what metrics they used to get that number. It could have been a Dolphin fan saying this. They wrote in there. I go, why not? I don't know how true that is, but he definitely looked like he has to. And I'm not the biggest Tua fan.
Oh, you're definitely not.
Really?
That's why I asked you.
You were hoping this off-season thing happened.
He definitely has to. He definitely has to. Looks like he has to load, and unlike
really wind up.
Yeah, like he has to get set up. I mean, most quarterbacks would have to do that to get it perfect to where it needs to go. But I mean, there's plenty of quarterbacks out there that can run and just not plenty. I shouldn't say plenty.
There is a select few.
Yes, that just run, throw it 60 yards on the run
with the flick of a wrist.
Yes, he's not that guy. He's not Allen. He's not Brady. He's not.
Brady doesn't run, so.
I guess Brady can do. He don't. Yeah, that's true. But
it's like Allen, Mahomes, Herbert.
These young kids with guns.
And there's maybe.
But still, Brady can still toss it 60 yards on a dime.
Oh, he can. He has the accuracy on the deep ball.
Right. Yes.
All right. So let's get to the New England Patriots back up to the East. We got Devin McCourty that re-signed, Matthew Slater re-signed, James White re-signed, Trent Brown re-signed for some odd reason. I don't know why they kept him around.
Because they need a tackle.
At this rate, he's hurt so often we should have just gotten rid of him and got somebody else. Jawan Bentley is back, and Nick Folk is back. So the Pats
Bentley.
did
I
nothing.
think Bentley is a good sign for you guys.
Bentley
was there. They
the
were
kicker.
Well, they also brought back the Malcolm Butler.
Yes, they
the
brought Bulker
cornerback
back.
that saved the Super Bowl against Seattle.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the reason he's famous. So everybody knows his name because of that
Yes.
one game.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and then they
One
sat
play.
him out the following Super Bowl.
I mean,
But-
that one play
yes,
made him how much money from Tennessee?
Yeah.
But I mean, seriously though, I mean, did you really expect much different from? I know last year they did a little different than they usually do.
Yeah,
but
they
did you
actually
expect
spent
much-
money.
I didn't expect anything from them.
They don't do much splashes, and they never need to because they build very well from within. It's what they do. I mean, they make stars out of players that are
Undrafted.
better than average, but they make them stars.
Yes.
And they've done that for even before Brady was there.
Yep.
So that's that's their coach, Bill Belichick, the GOAT of coaches. I will say that over my own damn Don Shula. But
All right.
All right.
So
the
let's
Jets.
get to the Jets. Lake Tomlin, C.J. Uzama, Tyler.
Good job.
Yeah, Tyler Koken, DJ Reed, Jordan Whitehead, and Jacob Martin. Do we think that any of this is going to help the Jets?
Well-
I think Whitehead might.
Whitehead?
I think Azuma might help a little bit.
yes,
Like I think
those two are probably the big ones that are going to
Yeah.
do something.
like Azuma was one of the big ones, especially going into like the Super Bowl and stuff. Like they
Yeah.
were worried about not having him. So I think if
he
you
was
can,
healthy for the Super Bowl, Cincinnati beats the Rams.
Oh, that's a very big statement. I might be absolutely.
I
correct.
would agree with that. I think if he was, because he was not near as involved as he was in
Throughout the regular
previous
season.
games.
Yeah.
So
You know, as soon as he got hurt in the AFC Championship game, you could see the difference in how they played it.
yeah,
Now I know I put this on there, and I guess someone wrote down that it wasn't happening. So about Debo, Debo is not being traded no matter what. Is that what we understand now?
That's my understanding. What's going to happen?
Because
So the thing is, he's 3 years out of a 4-year contract.
Mhm.
The team wants nothing to do with trading him. They told everyone that he's not available for trade.
Okay, because I
He
know that
wants out for some reason, but he doesn't say why.
right.
because-
Well, I know the Jets were like the main team or one of the three main teams.
The
Trying to
Jets
get
have been the main team on almost every wide receiver on the market this postseason.
Well, this is what I've been seeing. Was the reason he wants out wasn't the pay, it's because he don't like being used as much as he's being used the way he's being used because it's going to shorten his career because he's being used like a running back a lot and stuff. But the thing
Yeah.
is,
No one's
If
paying
he-
for him if he's not doing that.
exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
If I don't like being used that way, well, you're not going to get paid that way. Then you're
Yeah.
gonna
You want
be-
to be paid as an all-around athlete because you could do it all. You
then
got to do it all.
Yeah, that's why you're so valuable because you do it all. I don't want to do it all.
Exactly.
Well, then your value to me has dropped exponentially.
Diminished.
Oh, like
Yeah.
what's his name that was on the Pats for a season, and actually just went. He was, I think, on the Rams this past year, or was he on? Oh, he's a
Who are you
running
talking
back
about?
receiver. He's either on the Rams or the Chargers. I can't remember. He was a running back for the Pats. Well, a running back receiver for the Patriots a couple years back. Then he got traded away. Then it was a 1-year deal, and then he went somewhere else. And then he ended up. I think he won.
Like Garrett Blunt.
No, not
Yeah,
Blunt. Oh, now I can't remember.
James White.
No.
James
White is still
Deion
here.
Lewis.
I almost positive he was either on the Rams
If-
last year or he was.
If your
in the
brother
Super Bowl.
can't think of the name,
Sony,
currently
Sony
he was.
Michel was the only running back from the
Sony-
Patriots.
Sony
and Rams
Michel.
No,
last year.
he was listed as a receiver, but he did a lot of end arounds kind of thing.
Oh, that's Atlanta. That's what the frick is his name? He plays on Atlanta. He's the utility guy. He'll
No,
like
he's not in Atlanta. He was in the Super Bowl. I know that for a fact. I just can't remember who he played.
he wasn't
This
on the
last year he
Patriots.
was in the Super Bowl.
Last year he was in the Super Bowl. does a lot of end
Hey,
arounds.
if
He
anybody
runs the
knows
ball,
the
but
answer,
he's
please
also
let
a
us know
receiver.
right now if you're listening to us live on YouTube.
We have one viewer, but I think that's me.
Well, I have it on too.
So, no, I don't. Yeah, but yeah, if you're
I
not
can't-
going
I
to
can't remember his
play
name.
the part, then you're not going to get paid to play. You're not going to get paid to play a different part.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the AFC North. The
Yes.
Baltimore Ravens signed Marcus Williams, Morin Moses, Michael Pierce, Patrick Richard.
Okay, I'm not the biggest fan apparently because I don't know who any of those people are.
I have no idea
please
The
either.
names sound
educate me.
familiar, but I don't know who they are. Like, they're not big name players.
No, they're not. They're just
Okay, so it's not me.
Yeah, they're probably just support, more
yeah,
or less.
Yeah, safety, offensive tackle.
Travis. Were you thinking of Cordell Patterson?
Yes.
He plays
Cordell
on
Patterson.
Atlanta.
He does play at Atlanta?
Yes.
Oh, I could have sworn he was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
And he
Cordell
wasn't
Patterson.
drafted. He was only in New England for like a year, anyways.
Yeah, he was here
I was
for a
thinking
year.
Patterson too, but I couldn't remember
But
his name.
he's a receiver, but he runs the ball more than he catches the ball half.
He also
90% of the
Yeah.
does kickoff returns.
Yes.
Yep. He's a return man. He's a running back and a receiver.
Yeah.
He does it all.
He's a utility player,
Yes.
which I'm kind of
And he doesn't
surprised is
care.
why the Patriots didn't keep him because that's kind of like their
Because he wanted big money, and someone paid him that the next year.
yeah.
And the Patriots have been known to be the team that, if you like football, you know, that's the team you follow. That's
Yeah.
standard football. And they do it well.
They ain't paying
Okay.
for players.
Yeah.
All right, the Cincinnati
Except for
Bengals.
last year.
Yeah, except for last year, and that all fizzled out. Cincinnati Bengals, a team to watch this year, signed Alex Cuppa, Terry Karras, Lyle Collins, Hayden Hurst, and that was it. It looks like.
I think Ted Karras is probably their best signing from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me though, because if you look at that, I mean, it's mostly
Lineman.
line.
Yeah,
You know?
and that's what
like
they
yeah,
need.
a tight end, but who knows if this guy is more of a blocking tight end?
I think he is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they need
like
a
they're
Karras
trying to
is-
protect their investment in Burrows.
But
Well,
Karras
yeah,
is a stud for a center.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he was here
Well,
for a while, right? He was in
Yeah.
he was in New England for a while
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, New England signed him for like a 2-year deal when the New England center was up in free agency because they didn't think they were gonna get him back, and then he came back, so they said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
we'll let you go.
he ended up getting hurt. That starting center that they ended up getting rid of, if I remember correctly.
No, you're thinking of a different one.
Okay.
It's
All right.
their current starting center is the one they brought back for that.
Oh yes. All right. So let's move on to the Cleveland Browns.
They didn't do anything. We could just ignore them.
Yeah, apparently not because they got
One of the biggest stories in the off seasons, but they didn't do anything.
Jakeem Grant, Taven Bryan, Deshaun Watson, who God only knows if he'll actually play because is he still going through things or do we?
Yes, he is.
He's still dealing
Yeah.
with that stuff. He still hasn't gotten all that taken care of.
That-
Amari
that's gonna be
Cooper.
years in the-
Yeah, we got Amari Cooper from Dallas and
That's a
Chase
big signing for
Winovich
them.
from the Patriots. So they finally got a real wide receiver there again. They also
They
got
do.
a
Well, no,
defensive
they
back.
had Landry there. He was a real wide receiver.
Yeah,
They do, and the thing is, they have Watson, who is a damn great quarterback.
yeah.
And
Yes.
Well, it's
If he
because
was.
last year, when about how Miami was like going to trade their and like don't do that, and they got a great receiver, so they got a good combo. But it seemed to me that Cleveland Browns' biggest issue last year was that offensive line,
hmm
Yeah.
and they didn't seem to do anything. Maybe they're going to do it in the draft to
Dude.
shore that up.
Well, that's also why I think their existing quarterback wants out. or
I
did
don't
get
think
out.
their line was that bad. I think they just had a lot of injuries on their
That
line
could
this
be
past
Well,
year.
and it also speaks volumes, I think, that the Browns just, paid their corner the highest,
Over 100 million.
in NFL history to be the highest paid defense back. Like,
Whoa! I missed that. When did that happen?
yeah, Denzel Ward,
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's the highest paid
That was last
defensive
week.
back in NFL history. That's what I was talking about at the beginning, before we went live, was that it's an Ohio State guy that is, and
Dude,
the
man,
sad
that's
thing
gonna
was
make
he
you-
was good, but he wasn't that good.
That's gonna make my quarterback Xavier very mad.
Yeah.
He's doing his contracts all the time because of that stuff.
Well,
Um,
that's the thing I feel like is happening more and more. These players someone gets paid more than them, they get pissed off. So like, no, I want a new deal. Well, you just signed a 4-year deal last year. What do you mean you want a new deal? And then they said, well, I want to be traded then.
They need to put the NFL, and I mean, I understand players when they're paid and they should get paid. They need to do something about that. This is getting a little crazy.
Yeah.
I really think that the owners and the NFL need to do something different.
Well, the funny part is like these players are getting paid. They're getting paid these outrageous contracts, but then they get these teams get these massive cap hits, and they can't afford to bring in players to win. Basically, you have to take the bottom of the barrel. You can't keep these players that are good now, that are coming to the end of their 4 or 5 year contract after being like out of the draft. So they're like, well, are you going to pay me this kind of money? And they're like, well, we can't afford to. They're like, well, then I'm going to see you later. And they go somewhere else.
Well, and then what's been happening, and the salary cap I thought was a great idea because it made it a little more equal across the board. But then the way they set up the contracts, like this much money up front and then a little bit different each year going on.
Yeah.
So much guaranteed, so much not guaranteed. I think that part needs to start, switching.
Hey, Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong. I think like Denzel Ward's, it's like over $100 million, but I think it's like 72 or 73 guaranteed.
I think it's like 75 or something.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the 70s that's guaranteed.
It's low to mid 70s of guaranteed money.
Yeah.
See, and that's the thing. They just, and I forgot who it was, got like the whole contract guaranteed. Was that
Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
Dude, stop doing that.
But because
Just
he's
stop
most
doing
likely not going to play, all the big guaranteed money comes after this year. He's only getting paid $100,000 league minimum.
No, it's $4 million this year.
League minimum for QBs which is $4 million this year. If he doesn't play, that way he doesn't lose out on tens of millions of dollars, because this year was going to be worth a lot more, kind of thing. They made this year worth nothing because if he's out for 6 games. That's 6 games he wouldn't get paid for at all.
Right. So moving a little bit, still in the Cleveland Brown area, but away from the draft. A thing that came up was Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
says he felt disrespected. Do you think that's something that's just the norm in Cleveland, and that's why they can never seem to get over the hump?
Well, my biggest thing is, have you heard any Browns players come out and say that that Baker's a good player, that Baker's a good quarterback? I mean,
no.
Landry, who pretty much who was in Miami before going to Cleveland, never said a bad word about any quarterbacks. But he always gave like, oh, he was a good player, he was a good teammate, this, that. Mm. He said nothing about Baker.
Yeah.
And Baker Mayfield also has a history, even in college at Oklahoma, where his teammates didn't fucking like him because of his attitude. I mean, the dude, you can see just on the sideline.
Oh, he's like Johnny Football.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like back in college on the sideline, like there's on a video of him like grabbing his junk on the sideline and like cussing people out and shit. Like,
or what was that quarterback in Chicago that went to Miami that was, he had an arm on him?
Jay Cutler.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he was an ass? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
It seems to be what the Browns do is they hire asses as QBs, and then nobody likes them, so they I ain't gonna fucking win for this guy.
Yeah, you gotta have it. You gotta have your team behind you.
Because who gets all the praise when they win? The QB. Who gets all the blame when they lose? The QB. So these guys are like, fuck this shit. I ain't gonna win. I ain't gonna win for this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so let's move on to the last team in the North, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who we expect to be firmly planted in the last place still, because they signed Mitch Trubisky,
best quarterback with the last name Trubisky.
Yeah.
That's honestly not a bad pickup, though.
No,
he could be worse.
It isn't anymore.
It could be worse. They could have no QB.
Yeah.
Miles Jack, James Daniels, Levy Wallace, and I think that's it for Pittsburgh. So really, the only people I know there is Mitch Trubisky. I've heard of Miles Jack, but that's about it.
What happened to the quarterback that was in Jacksonville?
Minshew, Gardner Minshew. He plays for Philly. He's Philly's backup.
Yeah.
Oh man, he needs to go to Pittsburgh and have a quarterback competition because I think he'd win it.
He's still under contract with Philly, I think, for 1 more year.
Yeah.
So
Pittsburgh should offer like a second-round draft pick for him.
The reason I say this is a smart move for Pittsburgh right?
Yeah.
This gives them options now. They signed him to a 2-year deal. This gives them options now with Ben retiring, obviously with everything that's happened with Haskins, and then you have Mason Rudolph, who's straight trash.
Yep.
That gives them options now. Like he's worse than Trubisky. So this
Which
gives
is
them
hard to
options now.
say.
If they don't want to draft a quarterback in this year's draft and say wait till next year, they have that option because they have a quarterback that can win games. He's proven as a starter he can win games.
Yeah, he's not bad.
You know, so that's why I'm saying it gives them options and not a bad pickup. Because he proved, especially in Buffalo when he did come into the game, he can win games. He can play.
So my question about Trubisky is, was his lack of consistency due to more to the coaching staff?
Yeah,
and
Matt
that
Nagy's
offense
fucking garbage.
than it was just than Trubisky's abilities?
I think part of it is he is not a pocket passer. You need to roll him out.
Yeah, he only had one good year in college, right? Or he had one good year and then he came out.
Yeah.
Or 1 year in theory. So he never really got seasoned and really a lot of play time.
Yeah, and I think that combined with Matt Nagy not being willing to change his system for any quarterback and play to his quarterback strengths hurt Trubisky. And that's why you saw him play so much better in Buffalo, because when Trubisky came into the game, they played to his strengths. They roll him out, right? He can pass when he's on the move. He's just not a pocket passer.
And I think Tomlin's the type of coach that's going to adjust to him, where Nagy doesn't.
And that's how Tomlin does do that. He plays for his quarterback.
And the other thing is, Tomlin also, like the thing that Trubisky didn't really have consistently in Chicago was a running back, a true number one running back. So I think having Najee Harris behind him is going to give him options now.
Yeah, because
when I watched Trubisky, what it seemed to me, and you're absolutely right, when he rolled, he did very well. But when he was in the pocket, it was like he was almost I don't know, I'm not in his brain, but like he was afraid to pull the trigger on a pass. Like he's
and I
you
think
can see
that's
him
the
like,
lack of accuracy.
I should throw this, I shouldn't throw this, and he just would hold it and then he'd run.
I think that's the problem is if you look at his deep passes, he doesn't complete a lot of them. I don't think he's not very accurate at deep yardage.
Yeah, I just think he's
that's all Nagy's offense was throw the ball deep.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
And now you have a quarterback in Fields that can throw the ball deep. The problem is he doesn't have enough time to throw the ball deep.
Yeah, we'll get to Chicago in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting to Chicago. Don't you worry. All right, let's move to the AFC South.
We're talking about the old Chicago right now.
Yeah. Them Houston Texans sign Desmond King II, Malik Collins, and Christian Kursky.
They also re-upped, what's his name, the receiver?
Who did they re-sign?
Played for New England for a year, Saints, New England, then Rams, then went to Houston.
Moore, not Moore. God, what's his name? It's one syllable name, isn't it? Like Moore Dunn or.
It's.
Jeremy, you're our useless facts of knowledge.
I know where he played and whatnot.
Yeah.
The names are what's escaping it. You know, in 5 years from now, we ask him the same question.
He'll remember the name even.
Because this isn't historical NFL. This is now NFL.
This is today's NFL.
Yeah.
Which is
like, because we could ask him who played for the Jets in 1999. He's the one who had the 100-yard touchdown pass, and he'd be like, "Oh, that was Billy Johnson." Oh, of course it was.
No, it wasn't. That was what's his name?
It was Ganasco.
No, it's the Vinny Testaverde.
I said 99, not 89, man.
Brandon Cooks.
Cooks, yeah. Cooks.
Yes,
Brandon
Cooks.
No,
Okay.
Testaverde was 99.
Yeah, I guess it was. Yeah. Testaverde played for the Hurricanes, so love my quarterbacks.
All right.
Yes, so Brandon Cooks. He is so that's Houston.
So he's back there.
And I'm looking at these players here, and I'm like,
I've heard of Desmond King.
Houston is at the base of a rebuild. They're in full rebuild mode.
Yeah,
and they have a relatively good quarterback too.
Which
he played decent last year.
Yeah.
I think they're a team to watch. I mean, I don't expect them to make the playoffs or anything, but I expect them to be able to upset a lot of teams that don't expect them to win.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I expect them to upset the Jacksonville Jaguars again.
That's
not an upset. That's not an upset.
I think Jacksonville is going to be a lot better than.
Maybe so, but still not an upset.
Well, we'll talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars next, and then go back to Indy.
No, we'll do Indy first.
We'll do Indy first. All right. So Indy went with Mo Alex Cox,
yes,
Zahir Franklin. I think I said that right.
You did.
Matt Pryor.
Yep.
Tyquin Lewis.
Close enough.
Matt Ryan.
Yes.
And really, Matt Ryan went there. And Unique Nakanui.
Sure. Go with it.
Yakanui.
So the funny part, this is the Indy's 6th starting quarterback in the past 5 seasons.
Yep.
That's because what's his name retired?
Luck.
Yes. They sucked for Luck, and then he retired, and that was the end
This
of that.
is why I keep telling them, I've always said, do not do stuff for a draft pick, or because he was great. Luck was excellent, but he left.
Well, he never had blocking.
Right.
And
But
by
the
the time
point
they
is-
realized it, he was already too beat up and said, "Yep."
This is why you don't trade the farm away for a draft pick. This is why you don't give up too much for a draft pick.
Isn't he a high school teacher now too?
I think so, yes. But I think we all think that Matt Ryan's a good ad for Indianapolis. But but I think Matt Pryor might be the better pickup there for the marquee signing for them because he's that man's a beast.
Yeah,
well, they need offensive linemen. They got hurt.
They
The quarterbacks get hurt there because it's not.
How long do you think Matt Ryan
stays
there?
He's only under contract for 1 more year, so.
So yeah, they'll have to redo his contract either this mid-season, extend it, or they'll have to next year. They'll either be looking for a new QB or hopefully re-signing him. So
I like Matt Ryan. I think he's he's a pocket passer for sure.
I do too. He's always been a consistent passer.
Yes, he's a stud. He really is. But do you think he is going to play after this year?
I do. I think actually, yeah, I think he has probably 3 more years.
I think he was just looking to get away from Brady for a while.
So wait. He was too close to Brady in Tampa because he was in Atlanta. It's like, no, you know what? I don't play him that often, but I don't even want to be near him. So he would have went to San Francisco if they would have took him, but he got as far away as he could. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You're saying that Brady is such an intimidating force. He doesn't want to be within 600 miles of
for him. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
considering he went up 28-0 at one point, and 28-3, and that, then all hell broke loose.
If you look at the arc of that team's excel and downfall, they
Atlanta?
excelled. Yeah, they were a team on the rise. They were doing good. They had a stacked team, and then they hit that 28-3 mark. And then after that, they did nothing.
Then
Well,
the
they
third
gave
quarter happened.
away. I mean, a lot of their receivers left, and then their offensive line left, and defensive players left. Now Matty left. So, yeah, they're in the middle of a rebuild, too.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're
they
on their
are.
way to a rebuild.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, yes.
Kristen Kirk, Brandon Sheriff, Zay Jones, Forseed Akanon.
You about 2 Ks in there, but keep going.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Florence.
I want to hear you say this name.
Fakasi, Evan
Sure.
Ingram, and Darius Williams.
Yes, sir.
So
I
know
cannot
two
believe
names.
they
I know.
paid that much for Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
I'm about to say,
Yeah,
I
didn't
think
they pay
Christian
him
Kirk
some
is a
outrageous
great
money?
sign, but they paid too much.
Yeah, he's definitely a good signing. They went out and said, "We want Christian Kirk, and we're going to pay him obnoxious amounts."
They thought he was Tyreek Hill.
Probably.
What'd you think, Chris? Do you think they thought Kirk was Tyreek Hill? You have no idea, do you?
No, I don't even know who you're talking about.
Christian Kirk, the best signing Jacksonville did for too much.
I have no idea even who that person is.
He
was
played
a
for
wide
Ohio
receiver.
State, man.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Nice try, though. I'll give you that.
I love Chris. No, he didn't.
I know that for a fact.
Oh wait, so Amanda's not going to watch our podcast anymore because Nate's not on it.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Yeah. That's true.
Wah, wah.
I like when Amanda's here.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we'll go past Jacksonville because we all think that Jacksonville's probably going to place second, if not last, in their division, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so next we have, Jacksonville's still rebuilding, I think. It's the only way to put it. They're hoping that their QB they got last year is actually going to turn into something and not self-implode like he did most of the year.
What did I say when I said he was not worth it? He's not this quarterback people think he is. I could still be wrong, but right now I've been right. So
yeah, and he self-implodes, and so last year we saw him self-implode a bunch. So
what's the quarterback's name in New England now?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, I can be wrong about him as long as I'm right about the guy in Jacksonville. I don't care.
Yeah, Mac Jones is and he looks like he's dropped some weight this past offseason, kind of like how Brady did that first year after he was a starter. So things are looking better. And he looks a little bit more accurate. He was throwing the ball deep down it when he was practicing with the receivers, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. All right, last team. We got the Tennessee Titans, who are going to make another run for the playoffs. We got Harold Landry III, Ben Jones, Austin Hooper, Robert Woods.
Robert Woods is a good pickup.
If he can get healthy, he's a great pickup.
Yeah.
It's just how does he recover from that injury?
That's true, and I really don't see a team overtaking Tennessee as the champions of the East.
Indy has a chance. The South.
Yeah.
Sorry, Indy has an outside chance.
I think if anyone,
they looked good last year.
I think Indy and Tennessee are going to be at it for the.
Well, yeah, I mean that would make sense, but I mean you got King George there, and I mean, come on.
Yeah, if King George doesn't go down, it's a totally different season for them. Hey, Amanda is here. Hi, honey, we missed you.
I sent her a snap.
Oh.
We were wondering if you were going to join us or not, or if you just only loved your hubby.
What do you all think about the signing of Ben Jones? You guys familiar with him at all?
I don't really know. He's a corner, so.
Yeah.
No, center.
No, he's a center.
He's a center.
No.
He's not. I mean, he's not the greatest center playing right now, but I think he's an upgrade over.
Who'd they have?
Yeah, I can't remember his name. And I think that helps them a lot, especially with the running game and with King George. So it's going to be very, he stops, the A and B gap, depending on where they're going to run. He'll run through that before King George gets there. So I think that's a good pickup for them.
That's good. All right, so let's move to the AFC West. Denver Broncos, they get picked up a huge trade. Russell Wilson, Randy Gregory, DJ Jones, Josie Jewell, and Kawan Williams.
I think Randy Gregory is going to be the big surprise. Like he's gonna make that defense take that step up. I mean, he had already agreed to terms to go back to Dallas. Well, he had already agreed to terms to go back to re-sign with Dallas, and also it's like, nope, forget you. I'm going to Denver instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gregory he has a chance to be a Pro Bowler, at least up to that point, because
he is. He's very talented.
Well, I just think it's funny that Denver, besides the Russell Wilson, it's all defensive players that they signed. It's an outside linebacker, a defensive linebacker.
They're playing Kansas City and the Raiders and the Chargers. This is going to be the most competitive division in the NFL, I think.
Yeah, the AFC West is going to be – I wouldn't be surprised if the team that wins it is 10-7.
Right, and the last team is probably going to be like 8-9.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
this division is now probably the toughest one out there, and it's because
this division is how the NFC East used to be, where the teams just beat the hell out of each other. Yes. They were all good teams, and they just beat the hell out of each other every year.
And the thing is, the Chiefs lost a lot of things. And we'll get to the Chiefs in a second. We'll talk about them, and the other teams have improved. Why they got a little weaker, and Denver was probably the weakest team in the division.
Yeah.
And they have a huge upgrade. I think they spent a little too much for Wilson, but damn it, it's a quarterback, and he's one of the best, probably top
5.
7.
I put him in my top 5.
I'd say he's top 5.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see his moonball in Denver.
Right. See the thing. Because
The air's
That
thinner
is
up
gonna have
there.
a different, you're right. Oh my God, I'm thinking about it because how high it is.
That's gonna have a different trajectory when it comes
It
down.
sure enough is. That's gonna be very interesting. Oh,
He's
you
gonna
put
be all
him
pass
and
for
Hill
100
on the same
yards through
team?
the air.
Oh, yeah.
Him and Hill, just hike, throw it, and just watch.
It's gonna go 100 yards through the air without a problem.
That's gonna be awesome. So, and as I don't like trading a lot of players for, a lot of draft picks for players, especially wide receivers or anyone else, but for a quarterback, I can almost understand why you would do it.
As long as they're top 5, top 7 QB.
Well,
yeah.
the thing is, for a known quality quarterback, that's not almost 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Russell Wilson's what, like 32, maybe?
Yeah, he's young. He's younger
He's
than
low
us.
30s.
He's so young.
So
can
he
play
still
that
has
year.
at least 10 years out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's even younger than Chris, which is hard to say.
See, Chris, we're trying to pull you into the conversation.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I'm the second oldest on here.
No.
How old are you?
Me? I was born in 84.
Okay, so you are a year older.
I'm the youngest.
Oh, Jeremy's the youngest. I thought.
God, Travis, you're
Jeez,
a
I
fucking
thought
grandpa.
I thought Chris was the baby.
I was born in '85.
Chris and Nate are about the same age.
Well,
why is it we're not arguing
Chris,
about who
Nate,
the
and
oldest
Gail.
one is? Why don't we ever have that argument?
It's a
Because
well-known.
only one of us was there when the Ark was built.
You were riding a dinosaur up to the Ark. We understand. So here's a question. It hasn't happened. I don't think it's ever happened before, but it could happen since they have extended the playoff picks, like the amount of playoff teams. Could we have all 4 AFC West teams in the playoffs?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'd say yes, but I think one's going to be the odd man out.
Well, I agree with that. I don't think it's
I
going
think
to happen, but
I think you'll only get 3
yeah,
out of any division.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, as much as Miami did, and they did a lot, I still don't trust it because I am a Dolphins fan, so I don't trust any damn thing they do. They can win 3 Super Bowls in a row, I still say they suck. That's what I'm saying.
Well, my thought is the AFC North with Baltimore getting healthy, Cleveland doing all that, and Cincinnati on top of it's like there's too many good teams in the AFC this year.
I think the AFC East, one team goes, the North, one team goes, maybe 2. South,
I think
one
2
team
from
goes,
the North,
and then
definitely 1 from the South.
Well, we have one each. We have 1 out of each division, and then we have 3 wild cards now.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be interesting. I think Jeremy's right where he says that
the North
3 teams in the West are going to go, and the 4th team is probably going to be fighting with a NFC North. AFC North or NFC. AFC
North or
East
West
team.
Yeah,
that last slot.
Oh yeah, it's going to be.
I don't think the South got a chance here.
All right, let's get to Kansas City, who lost a player but re-signed Justin Reed, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, they're trying to replace
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, they can't do that. They can't do that with any player there is right
No.
now.
So one thing I want to mention about this is the first time you're actually going to be able to see how good Mahomes actually is.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Because the thing is, a good quarterback can play well with good players.
Right.
A great quarterback will elevate
the
level of his receivers.
It's just that, and I'm not trying to hate on the man because he is a very talented and a very good quarterback. There's no doubt.
Oh, he is. I didn't say that he was.
But I know. But I'm just saying that
this is the first time
the pundits have already crowned him king of quarterbacks everywhere of all time. They've already got him in the Hall of Fame.
They sure tried.
If he stopped playing right now, he don't make the Hall of Fame.
Nope.
So what happens if he ends up being like Dan Marino and never ever sees another playoff the rest of his damn career? He makes a Hall of Fame, but he's still not the greatest.
No,
right?
But they have They have said
they crowned him early.
They did that. Oh, he does everything so great. He's the first quarterback in history that tied his left shoe before his right shoe before winning the game on a Saturday night in the city of Cleveland. Like what?
He's the only quarterback in history where 90% of the NFL fans want to throw something at his wife's head.
And 100% of NFL fans
his
want
brother
to throw something at the brother.
Yes. So, but I think Schuster's a excellent signing for them because they will use him very well and like he hasn't been used before.
My question is, how long does he hold up?
Who's Schuster?
Yeah, he got hurt after like 3 weeks in Pittsburgh last year.
No, because he's going to get hit a lot more often than he did before.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he got hurt early last year in Pittsburgh, so
Well,
I'm wondering if he'll hold up.
I think the only thing that'll save Schuster is that they still have their other wide receiver there. The one that was basically the complement to Tyreek Hill that ended up catching more passes than Tyreek Hill throughout the season because everybody was double and triple teaming Tyreek throughout the season.
So the question is Kelce now become almost irrelevant because now they can double Kelce and not have to worry about Hill going deep every time?
I think Kelce is good enough. I think he is in the same
Kelce's in a Gronk kind of stature.
Yes,
Gronk and Kittle bracket.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, they're gonna find ways with different protections and different routes to use those pick routes and stuff like that to get Kelce the ball.
Yeah, Kelce's gonna be fine. He ain't gonna have a year like he had last year, I don't think. But
no,
I hand it off to him and let him run it.
He had a Hall of Fame year last year, and he basically looked like Gronk in his Gronk's prime, because everybody was covering Hill like crazy, and they were also what's the other receiver that was on the other side?
Harmon.
Yeah, Harmon. They were on they were on them like wet on rice, which left Kelce open a lot, and it looked like Gronk back when we had two receivers, and we had two tight ends and two receivers, and Gronk balled out, and that's what Kelce did last year. Yep. And he had a Hall of Fame year last year. I don't know if he'll repeat that. I don't think he will, because Schuster you can really cover with one guy. You don't need
Schuster, one guy. Harmon, a number one corner, can cover him man up.
And so now you can double Kelce, and they're going to be looking for a third, basically a fourth wing.
Yeah, I think their offense is going to be drastically changed. I mean, even this past year, defenses figured out how to cover Kelce and Hill and not allow those deep play, quick strike plays. And once you take
Super Bowl.
Yep, it takes a while, but everybody figures it out eventually.
It doesn't matter how fast, how good your players are. You give NFL defenses enough time, they'll figure out how to stop you, and they'll do it.
Yeah,
and everyone, it's a copycat league. So once it's figured out, once
everybody watch what Tampa
laid out,
did.
it's done. It's quick and easy.
Yeah, everybody watch what Tampa did in that Super Bowl to shut them down, and they're like, we can do that. We just got to design our defense like this, and that's what they did. And they didn't let them run the score up 60 points every game. They learned how to stop them.
So that's I think this year is going to be the first year we can really tell how good Mahomes can actually be.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because you take Hill away, it's going to be a completely different offense. And how does he adapt, and can he elevate the offense without Hill there?
Yeah, because Hill is like the number one of the number ones.
Yes.
Out there. He really is. All right, so let's get to the Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders. They got Davante Adams. They signed contract after being acquired in trade. So he's now got a longer contract. He's got a new contract.
He wasn't under contract.
Oh.
He was they franchised him.
They franchise tagged him, yeah.
They had franchise tagged him, but now then he's re-signed?
No, so in order to be traded, if they extend the franchise tag to you, you are pretty much locked in. Even if you don't sign it, you can't sign with anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to be traded, you have to sign the franchise tag.
Okay. So he signed the franchise tag, got
to be traded.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we got Chandler Jones. That's a good sign.
Yep.
Antonio Everett. Yeah. Everett. Brandon Boyle and
Bolden
Nichols.
Nichols, but you're good, man. It's fine.
I
like how you
figuring it
add
out.
letters to names.
They also extended Derek Carr too.
Yes, I heard.
Oh yeah,
that.
yes, they did. That happened most recently. Yeah,
which is probably it's probably a good idea for them to do that anyways, because he's good for them.
Devon Adams is probably the best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah. Devontae Adams, yeah.
And it's funny.
I am insane that I'm surprised that he left. They traded him out of Green Bay.
He told Green Bay he wasn't playing for them anymore.
Oh.
Right. He didn't want to be there.
He straight up told him, "I'm not playing for you anymore."
Yep. So the question is, though, is Carr anything close to the Green Bay quarterback? I can't remember his name. He's a kind of a back nose kind of guy. I can't remember.
Favre.
No,
I think is it Favre? Is he still play there? Green Bay guy. I don't know. He got a big nose and he got long hair.
He gets hurt a lot.
And all his fiancés leave him.
Yeah,
when it comes to ring time.
But he does a lot of commercials.
He does. That guy.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering if
no, that's Patrick Mahomes.
Oh yeah.
I'm just wondering if Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers obviously a better quarterback than Carr, but is he so much better that? I mean, the question I guess is, Adams going to have those kind of years with Carr as a quarterback instead of?
I think he might actually have a better year because the Raiders do have actual receivers, other receivers on that system that they have to cover, that everybody else has to cover. So somebody's gonna be single man on Devontae Adams or single man on the other guy, and if Devontae Adams burns them a couple of times, now they're gonna double up him, and the teams are gonna have to figure it out because they have actual other receivers. Where when he was at Green Bay, he was the number one receiver. There was no other receivers that were even close to him.
You know, I'm glad you said something like that because I have a question for you all. Whenever we start asking questions to each other, whenever Jeremy asks me that question, I have a question for you all. So go ahead.
So the other random fact is that Devontae Adams' quarterback in college was Derek Carr.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So they played for Ohio.
Yeah.
They came from Ohio?
Circle.
Chris, why wouldn't you have told us that? Chris is like, he wasn't from
I didn't
Ohio.
fucking know. Nate just messaged me and told me that.
Told you what?
That Derek Carr was his QB?
Yeah, like my phone. He was like, Derek Carr and Devontae Adams were this.
Wait, so no one else knew that random fact?
No, apparently only Nate.
I knew that.
I knew it, but it's not something that like just randomly pops in my fucking head.
We need it to pop into your head more often, apparently.
Well, that's what they seem to be doing a lot because that's what happened in Cincinnati, and that's what all these teams seem to be doing right now.
Yeah.
They're trying to get a quarterback and a receiver on the same college team so they can have
the rumor that the Bears are going to try to trade up for Olave.
And they damn sure better.
I don't
So who used to be Mac Jones's receiver that New England needs to go after this year?
Oh, he's not that good though.
Fucking take your pick.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really think it's going to matter if you take any Alabama receiver. You're probably going to get a decent receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alabama's
better than any receiver they've drafted the past 20 years.
All right, let's finish out the AFC West, and we'll let Journey ask this question. So the Los Angeles Chargers, they signed Gerald Everett, Josh Harris, J.C. Jackson, Austin Johnson, Sebastian Joseph Day, and Kaliki Mack. Oh yeah, Khalil Mack.
Out of all the names you messed up, how you know?
I am forever calling him fucking Kaliki.
Kaliki. I like it. Hey, Kaliki.
If any name I was gonna screw up, it would have been the Sebastian Joseph Day out of those.
I'm telling you. What's up, Big Dick?
What are we singing? Hawaiian songs now?
Kaliki Dick.
Kaliki Dick. I'm gonna be honest. The only name I know there besides Kaliki is Josh Harris. I don't know the rest of them.
See, J.C. Jackson was the cornerback up in New England, and he was our number one cornerback up here. But
that's a good pickup for him.
That's a good pickup for him. He was a shutdown. Well, I wouldn't say a shutdown, but he was a very good cornerback.
He's a ball hawk. He was tied for interceptions, like top interception in the league this past year.
He knows.
Wow, how come I didn't know that? I should have known that.
Yeah, he knows how to keep his eye on the ball and the receiver at the same time.
So that's probably the biggest pickup for the Chargers because I mean I like Kaliki a lot, but I mean he's not. He's a shadow of his former self. He is not who he used to be.
No,
the name gets him money and gets him traded, but
It's
He's
kind of
not
like buying
Khalil
Goodyear.
Mack.
But don't the Chargers have a real big issue at offensive line?
They do.
Yes, they do.
And yet they still have not addressed that.
They're going to address that in free agents, and not free agency, but draft and pick up
I think that's gonna be
two rookies that
drafted.
get ran over all year long.
Exactly. By Kaliki.
Oh, it looks like Chris needs a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
okay.
So
don't
yeah,
know.
besides, I mean, it's probably J.C. Jackson is probably one of their bigger pickups.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's still
young.
talented.
he's talented. He's young.
He's off his rookie contract, so
Mhm.
Okay, that's fair. And being a Dolphins fan against the team of the Patriots, I should be very familiar with J.C. Jackson.
Amazingly enough, he didn't pick off your guy too often.
Yeah, just
Tua didn't throw too many interceptions last year. I don't think.
yeah, but I had like 5 quarterbacks in the last 2 years.
You did.
I mean,
Last
he was
4
our
years,
main
yeah.
one, but we kept switching him out. It's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Mm.
go Chargers.
All right, so Jeremy, you got a question for Smitty since we're halfway through the.
Well, that's right.
I have a question for everyone.
Okay, for everyone now.
Who or what year was the best NFL draft class in history?
In history. 1984.
Purple.
Purple. Well, it'd be 1983, but
Well, I was born in 84, so.
well, when was Brady drafted? Because that has to be the best one because he's the greatest of all time, right?
Yeah.
2000.
Yeah, there it is.
But
Um,
who else came out in 2000? Randy Moss was before that. No, he was after that, and there was a lot of
Yeah.
receivers that were
I
after
was
that.
just messing around, but
But it,
You know,
80... Go ahead.
but if
No, go ahead.
you want to think about it, it's like you need. It's not just like one QB. You need a bunch
Right.
of top tier QBs or a bunch of top tier receivers.
The first year that comes to my mind, even though I'm a Marino fan and I know all about 83, I know. But for some reason, 2004 with Eli Manning, Roethlisberger, Rivers, was it Rivers?
Yes.
I think Will Ferk was with them, and Allen, and
Yeah.
Fitzgerald. That was who else was. It's kind of hard not to go against that. So I'm gonna go with 2004 right now. That's what I'm gonna say.
So I'm
Okay.
gonna go with. Oh, was that 91, 92? The year that Dallas picked Emmitt Smith, and didn't they get a wide receiver out of that draft too? There was
I think that was back-to-back years. They drafted Aikman.
Yeah,
Emmett Irvin.
they did. But they had 3 back-to-back years where they drafted very well.
Yes.
Yeah. But there was other players that came out that were in that same year that were also ended up like super top tier players that are now in the
What
Hall
year
of
did you
Fame.
say, Dress?
I want to say it was 92 or 93 that
I mean, well,
Emmitt Smith
93,
year.
you had Bettis, you had Strahan, you had John Lynch.
yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
It's amazing that I picked the older one, Smitty picks the younger one. So Nate's going with the 2004 draft also.
Well, that did have Eli, Rivers,
Yeah.
Roethlisberger, also, like Smitty said, Fitzgerald, Will
Yes,
Ford,
I mean.
Yeah.
Jared Allen, and Sean Taylor.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to go against 20. I mean, I know that the 83 with Marino and Elway and Kelly and I can't remember who else, but what's his name? Eric Dickerson.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's probably the best one of all time, but I don't know why I keep thinking of 2004. I don't know why, but that's where I always go with.
All right, so for next week, a discussion point, I want you guys to actually do some research and your personal opinion of what draft class you think was the best. And not just Google who's the best draft class or whatnot.
Oh, we were all gonna Google
that
the
seems
same
easy.
thing.
But I want more than just the top few big name
Okay,
players. I
I
want
think I'm about to lose connection, so please forgive me. I'm so sorry, guys.
Why would you lose
Okay.
connection?
Don't ask why. Just say okay.
Okay. All right, Chris, what do you got?
I have no idea.
No,
I don't pay that close of attention to
Draft
pro,
process.
so I'll have to research it.
You're learning all about this stuff as we go along, right, Chris?
Pretty much.
Before, all you knew was quite a bit of college, and now you're like, hold on, they actually do something after college?
It's like, what? They matter after college?
He's a Bears fan. They don't matter after college since '85.
Hey, we
I made it
to the
back.
Super Bowl one year. I don't remember what year that was, but I
85.
remember Rex Grossman.
06.
Did you make it twice and lost one year?
Yeah.
No, they only made it once.
We've made it twice. We won
Yeah.
it once, and then
They won it.
06,
They won in
Rex
'85 and lost
Grossman.
in '06.
Yeah, Rex Grossman was our quarterback.
Yes, and the only reason you guys were there was because Devin Hester was the first time in NFL history that a Super Bowl started off with a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a horrible year, and now I am scarred for life because in the national championship game that Ohio State won or lost to Florida, Ted Ginn Jr. ran the opening kickback, and then it happened again in the Super Bowl with Devin Hester, and both my teams lost. So anytime it is bad juju for me if they run the opening kickback.
You're like, yeah, I'm just gonna pack up and go home now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shut the TV off now.
All right, let's go switch over to the NFC.
Oh, wait, didn't Smitty have a question for us?
I did.
Oh, you
May I ask
did?
that now?
Yes.
Or you want to ask that? It's your choice. Do you want to ask it now, or do you want to ask it after we get through the rest of the NFL?
It's not my choice. You are the producer of this. You tell me.
All right. So producing, we're gonna do because we have one question at the end of the AFC. You're gonna do
Okay.
yours at the end of the NFC before
Sounds
we get
good.
into some college stuff. All
Sounds
right.
good.
So the Dallas Cowboys picked up. Jesus Christ. DeMarcus Lawrence, Michael Gallup, Jaron Kearse, Dalton Schultz, Littleton Van Esch.
Leighton Vander Esch.
Yes, thank
Leighton
you.
Vander. He played for the Ohio also.
He was a Buckeye.
Yes, he was.
Dorrance Armstrong, Malik Hooker.
You got his name
Buckeye.
right.
He was a Buckeye.
That's because I know
It's
him.
not Maliki. It's not Maliki.
That's because I coached a Malik at one point in time.
Okay.
Dante Fowler Jr. and James Washington. They signed everybody basically.
Because they lost everybody.
Yeah.
Hooker's not bad at safety. James Washington isn't a bad pickup at receiver. When he was in Pittsburgh, when he was in the game, he was fairly consistent. Like he's a good number 3 receiver.
Yeah.
Oh,
He could be a fill-in number 2 if you needed him to be, but he's a solid number 3 receiver.
And Dalton Schultz was their tight end last year. They just re-signed him, I think.
Yeah, and
'cause he was a
Michael
free agent.
Gallup, I'm pretty sure, was on that team last year also.
Wasn't Gallup also on their team
Yeah,
last year?
he was.
Yeah.
Gallup blew his knee.
Because Gale had Gallup, and then he blew his knee out. Because I had the one that went to the Browns.
Cooper.
And Cooper got hurt, and he screwed me over. All right, so let's go to the Giants. Last place in the AFC East. Tyrod Taylor, the QB again. Mark Golowski and John Feliciano.
It's Felicio.
Felicio? Oh, it kind of looks like a Raul Feliciano.
No, it's not Felicio. It's
I hate you, Smitty, because I know where you're going with that.
Felicio. I'm sorry. I said it wrong.
No, it's a Feliciano. Right?
It is, but I'm making a oral sex joke.
I know you are, but the worst part is I know a Raul Feliciano. I'm pretty sure it's spelt that way, right, Jeremy?
Yeah.
He only lived with us for a little while.
Yeah.
So who is the
QB?
first string quarterback for the Giants? Is it Tyrod?
No, it's there's like 4 of them in the league with the same last name. I think it is like 3 of them. Who's
not Donaldson? That's Carolina Panthers.
No.
But Tyrod Taylor, he was in Washington for a while, right? And then he was down in Houston.
He was in Buffalo originally.
Buffalo, that's
yeah,
what it
but then he was in San Diego. I think when he got his lung punctured.
Yeah.
Yep, it was.
And that's
Denver,
how what's
San
his
Diego.
face ended up being the QB there.
Yeah.
He was in Houston.
I
last
hate
year.
him. I hate him because when he was in Buffalo, he beat Miami every time he played them. Every time. I hate that man.
He was in Houston last year till he got hurt.
Yeah, he was the
hate
Houston
him.
starting QB too.
Miami has not won a game against that player.
Well, do
Not
they
one.
play the NFC East this year? Do we play the NFC East? I thought we played
I don't know, but
I thought we played the North for some reason.
when he
Daniel
goes to the
Jones.
Super Bowl, you might
Daniel
have to play
Jones.
him.
Daniel Jones is the Giants starting quarterback.
Daniel Jones, that's right.
Yeah. Well, not for long. All
Probably
right.
not.
So it looks like the Eagles did the least amount of anybody. They only signed Harrison Reddick.
Where's the
I do
R?
not know who that is, so
Hassan
Philadelphia
Reddick.
fans, I
Reddick?
apologize if you know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Anybody?
Bueller.
They signed
Moving on.
one person
Good for
apparently.
you, Reddick, though. You got paid.
Yeah. All right, and the Washington football team, now known as the Commies, signed Carson Wentz. They got him in a trade, and Andrew
Right.
Norwell.
He
I'm
played for Ohio State.
How
I'm
was it?
upset that Washington's going on from what's his name?
Fitzpatrick?
No,
This
Smith?
that played
Henny.
last year.
Henny.
Oh yes, Henny. He was actually pretty good.
Henny, wait, he played for a Big Ten team, didn't he?
It's not the
no.
same Henny.
No,
I'm thinking Chad Henny.
he was actually assigned from the XFL. He was an XFL QB, but when the XFL folded, they needed a backup, and they brought him in, and he played
Heineke.
Yes, Heineke.
Heineke.
Heineke, yes.
Yes, Heineke
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Heineke.
And he played really well at the end of that first year, and then they lost their QB, so he ended up being the starter QB that following season.
I would
and
stay with Heineke, and I would with Fitzpatrick. I want Fitzpatrick.
They didn't
to go
renew
play
it.
for-
They didn't renew.
Fitzmagic.
They didn't renew his contract.
I know he needs to go to New England just so he can
Yes.
play for all AFC East teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler Heineke.
Heineke, yeah, he
Yeah.
was pretty good. I
he
liked
was,
him too.
and he was a down to earth kind of QB.
And the fact that they think that Wentz is better than this Heineke guy is crazy because Wentz is okay, but
We're talking. Did Washington release him, or is he still on the roster?
He only had two.
Heineke's still on the roster, or are you talking
Okay,
about Fitzpatrick?
so he's going to be the starter by week 3 anyway.
Yeah,
because
true.
Wentz is going to get hurt.
that's
Sure.
true. Good point.
Whether he starts or not, he's going to be the starter, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
He kind of willed, and if you watched him play, he kind of willed them to win half those games that he was in. He really did. He was even like for a QB, he was short. He was small. He was small size.
You know, I think we really need to watch Washington because their defense was getting up there to being solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
And-
Washington
yeah.
has a good chance this year.
Yeah, they really do. I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the playoffs.
I don't like that they changed the name from the football team to the Commies, but
They should have kept the football team. It's like the best name ever. The
Yeah.
Washington football team. Just keep it.
yeah, the WFT.
Yes.
Oh well.
So Heineke didn't play at all for the XFL.
I thought
He
he
was
did.
he was on a roster, but
Okay.
he did not see the field and did not record any stats,
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. and had his contract terminated when COVID hit.
Yep. Well, they all did. All right, let's get to the NFC North. The Chicago Bears, they picked up Lucas Patrick, Nicholas Burrow, Byron Pringle, Alquin Muhammad, and Justin Jones.
Lucas Patrick's probably the best pickup out of that.
I was
we
going to
got-
say that.
And we got him from the Packers.
Oh, Pringle has some speed.
Pringle used to play for
It-
Kansas City, right?
Yeah, if Pringle can catch the ball, he's good. His issue is he's hit or miss if he catches the ball.
He's got bad
That's true.
hands.
And the only reason he caught anything is because everyone was doubling up the other players on the Kansas City. That's why he was open.
He reminds me of the receiver from the replacements. He's quick as could be, but can't catch a damn thing.
That's true. Pringle
He
is a
needs
fast
Stickum.
man. He's
Oh,
a very
Pringle's
fast-
fast
Well,
Maybe, maybe put him as a kickoff returner.
as a running back.
All right, Chris.
That too.
Say what you're going to say.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think the most consistent pick is gonna be Patrick there. You know, like, I don't know, it's gonna be weird, but it wouldn't be the first time we got players from Green Bay. So,
Is he going to be enough to protect your new quarterback?
oh no, having a veteran on the line, I think is going to help, but we need
a lot.
a lot. And it didn't help that Tevin Jenkins, who was supposed to be our tackle that was supposed to help protect Fields last year, was out all season with a back injury. So we haven't even seen what our offensive line draft pick from last year can do because he's been hurt. So I think if he can stay healthy this year and they add, another guard or another tackle, I think
maybe
Fields might be able to get the ball off.
I like how Chris puts that. Might be able to get the ball off. Maybe.
I still have faith in him. I think he's going to have a better 5-year than what's his name in New England.
Yeah.
Hey, we still have that bet going on.
We do. 5-year bet. $1,000.
Well, considering the
No
Pats did
tattoos.
nothing.
Yes.
1G.
It's the long play.
All right, the Detroit Lions. Where you're assigned to, and they never let you go until you just retire.
That's the damn dumpster fire is what that is.
Yeah, that's the one team that if I was a rookie, I would refuse to ever be signed there. I don't care if I was the only team that picked me. I'd be like, no, I'm gonna go work at the grocery store down the street. As if I'm any good, they're never gonna let me leave. So they signed DJ Clark Jr., Charles Harris, Tracy Walker the third.
I did not know they got Chark from Jacksonville. I did not know that. That's a good signing. Charles Harris. Those are all good signings. Tracy. That's actually 3 really good signings for that team.
For that team,
I don't think they can do anything with it.
No. They don't know what to do with it.
That team they had a lot of close losses last year.
Well, they always have a lot of close losses. They just don't know how to get over the hump.
Well, they can't beat Green Bay, they can't beat the Vikings, and they can't beat the Bears. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. They just don't know how to get over the hump to beat those close losses, to win those close losses.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think we lost the Lions last year.
You did. Once. I think you split.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
The Packers up north, Nate's team. The one that signs the QB for trillions of dollars but loses all the receivers.
They don't need receivers.
We don't care about that team.
They sign Devon Campbell, Rasul Douglas, and Robert Tonyan.
Yeah, that is a great pickup. Wait a minute. He played for them already, didn't he?
I don't know. He's a tight end. Nate,
Again?
are you still here or did you leave? I think he might have left.
They need it because that's a good outlet guy for Aaron Rodgers. And the thing is, Aaron's going to hit someone in the hands. Whether they can catch it or not is going to be up to them.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is he hits them, but they're not always
he's
good
accurate as
at
hell.
they're not always so good at catching the damn ball when he actually hits them in the hands.
But here's the thing. It's just like the Patriots were for the last 20 years.
Nate said
the
he was
Packers
there.
are going to win this division by default because the other 3 teams suck.
Yep.
I mean, there's a chance Vikings may beat them once, maybe twice this year. But on the whole, the Packers are going to win because the other 3 teams can't. Just like when Patriots were winning all the going Super Bowl playoffs. Yeah, they had competition in the playoffs, but to get the playoffs, all they had to do was beat the Dolphins, the Bills, and the Jets, and that wasn't a problem because those 3 teams were terrible for about 15 years.
Unless they had to play in Miami, then it was garbage.
Yeah, that was a problem for New England for a minute. Yeah.
No, that was a 20-year problem.
I'm hoping it continues. No offense.
All right, so next week,
tell you what, we could both swing down to Miami for a game.
It would be cheaper
Yes,
probably
we
for me to fly down to Miami, Jeremy to drive there, and for us to buy tickets to go to a Miami Patriots game than it would for you to come up here and for us to go to a Patriots Miami game.
I did that with Nate already, but you need to come down to Miami because what's going to happen is when we go, you're going to have to bail me out of jail.
We're going to let you sit there for at least a week.
Well, I'm just saying because what I plan on doing is like during the game, I'm going to jump.
Are you going to be the naked guy?
He is.
I'm going to run in the end zone while they're playing that side, and I'm going to get arrested.
Why are you gonna do that landscaping crew? You're going to put like ruts in the field.
I'm not gonna be naked.
No. If you get over that wall, you better be butt naked.
No, the only thing he can wear is the ball sack thing.
The teabag thing, yeah.
Teabag.
Yeah. Way to go, Jeremy! Somebody listen to the show. Thank you.
The mankini.
No, it's the teabag. You'd have to listen to the show.
Maybe if I start driving back and forth to work, I'll start from season 1, episode 1.
No, start.
It only took Jeremy about a month and a half. It seems like.
Start at season 3. Season 1 and 2 are very hard to listen to.
Yeah, well, luckily season 2 is only like 6 episodes. So
you can start season. Just start season 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's go to the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons.
You missed Minnesota.
Oh, did I? Oh, yeah. Well, they're not. Nobody cares
everyone misses Minnesota, but in case we have a fan that's a Minnesota fan, we probably want to talk about them.
Just in case somebody from Minnesota actually shows up on here and listens to them. The Minnesota Vikings signed Zadarius Smith, Jordan Hicks, Harrison Phillips, Austin Schlotman, and Jody Munt.
Yes. Harrison Phillips is the best signing of all of those.
That's what I was thinking.
That's the only name I know out of any of them.
Yeah, that's a big pickup for them, I think.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll beat Green Bay this year.
Well, he's going to be getting that backfield a lot, I think.
It's true.
So. Did we lose Chris?
Yeah, he looks frozen.
All right, so let's go on to the NFC South.
NFC South, we got the Atlanta Falcons to start off with. They signed Marcus Mariota. I did not.
2-year deal.
Good for them. Casey Howard Jr. Cordell Patterson is back. Oh yeah, Casey Hayward. Cordell Patterson's back because we went through that earlier. And Young Ho Ko is their kicker.
Yeah, Young Ho Koo.
Young Ho Koo is the kicker.
And as much as I like Cordell Patterson, that might be the better pick was keeping Koo.
Yeah, he was a solid kicker this past year.
I think the sneaky part of this one is I think Mariota is going to actually do pretty well for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't. He's pretty quick, and he's he did lose his starting job to Tannehill in Tennessee.
Well, it's because Tannehill was more of the quarterback that I think what Vrabel was looking for.
Well, the thing was, Vrabel took over, and Mariota was already there, and he didn't like Mariota's style, so it was only a matter of time until he moved on from him.
Mm-hmm. Where I think Tannehill is more of a get along with the coach and do what he's asked, than to say no, I like to do it this way kind of thing.
All I know is Mariota, I think, is the only quarterback in NFL history to throw a pass to himself and score a touchdown on it.
No, what's his name? Favre did that. His very first pass.
Did he really?
He threw it. Yes. It bounced off. He caught it and went in the end zone. Yes.
Oh, then it must have been the only time in a playoff game it happened.
That's probably true.
All right.
Yeah, Favre did that.
So let's.
I remember that. I don't remember that, but I watch a lot of football stuff. It's like most amazing plays, and that was one of the plays.
Yeah. Well, every once in a while, there's nothing else on TV, so.
So Chris's computer decided it wanted to install an update, so he will be back as soon as he can.
Hopefully he gets back before we get to the drafts and the college so he can talk to us about it.
Yes.
All right, so the Carolina Panthers, they signed Austin Colbert, Bradley Bozeman, Deontay Foreman, Matt Ioannidis.
Sure.
Yeah, Dante Jackson, Corey Littleton, Xavier Woods, and Johnny Hecker. Punter.
Xavier Woods, I think, is a best pickup there.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, is Dante Foreman related to what's his name from the 70s show?
George Foreman, the boxer?
No, the one from the 70s show.
Oh.
Red?
Yes.
Yeah. Probably not. I'm not trying to. No, but a name like Deontay or whatever.
He's probably closer related to the boxer than the.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna guess.
All
Does that
right.
make me racist? I don't know.
New Orleans Saints, for some odd reason, re-signed Jameis Winston,
Well,
and
They had no other options.
And let's face it, they were 5-2 when Winston went down.
That's true.
They weren't horrible. They were winning games. They were consistent. Even when Winston had a bad game, they still kept it close.
Didn't they?
Do you think they pick up a quarterback in this draft? I think they do.
I think they're gonna have to. They need the long-term answer. I don't think they think Winston is the long-term answer.
No.
And neither is their utility guy.
And hell, they tried to bring back oh God, who was just there? Who was the best QB they ever had?
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees. They tried to bring him out of retirement midway through the season.
Of course.
And he's like, no.
Well, they were on their third string quarterback or fourth string
Fourth
quarterback.
string quarterback.
They went through more quarterbacks than any other team ever.
And Tampa Bay, they re-signed half of their team apparently. Chris
Yeah,
Godwin, Carlton Davis, Ryan Jensen, Aaron Stinney, Russell Gage, Bresman Pierman, Logan Ryan, Leonard Fournette, and William Golston.
We're not in a Beauty and the Beast here.
No, we're not.
I'm glad he recognized the reference.
Gaston. I want to walk like Gaston and like Gaston. I used to sing that like karaoke, and I changed Gaston to Jason.
Of course you did.
What?
Okay, NFC West teams.
Yeah. So I think really their best, Tampa Bay's best re-signing was probably Goodwin. I don't know any Godwin. Maybe Logan Ryan, but he's been around for a long time.
I think the quiet signing is going to be Perriman.
Perriman, yes.
He's a good player. I don't think he gets the publicity.
And he's younger, and I think that he will.
He'll excel this year.
He will. With Brady sitting there throwing balls around, I think he will.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't drop the ball in a key moment, he'll be fine.
No, that's what Godwin and Evans do.
Yeah.
This is exactly what I know because I had Evans on my damn fantasy team. Mother sucking dog liquor.
Yeah, I had Godwin, so when he got hurt, I'm like, well, there goes my season. So the Arizona Cardinals in the NFC West, they signed Zach Ertz and James Conner.
Connor. And it's both re-signs.
They're both re-signed.
They're both re-signed because that's how Miami ended up with the other one from
the running back.
That running back, because that was the start running back for Arizona, and then he got hurt and Connor took over, and then Connor just took it off. Yeah, so that's a good re-sign for them.
Chase Edmonds.
Yeah, Chase Edmonds. And that's the thing. We were talking about these re-signings, and the quarterback over there in Arizona was doing the things on social media to act like he doesn't want to re-sign for them. Like he wants more money.
Oh, he wants more. He wants a long-term deal.
Yes. It was your QB that you had in the fantasy.
Yes. Me and Nate traded because I gave him Rodgers, and I got what the hell is his name?
Kyler Murray.
Kyle Murray, yeah.
Because he scored 70 points the week you played me.
Yes, he did.
I was livid.
Because
I think Brady was on a bye week that week, and I had Buffalo Bills QB in, and he got me all of like 30 points. Josh Allen got me all of like 30 points, I think, if I was lucky. I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, so Connor is their go-to guy now. So
it's funny because Connor was a very productive back in Pittsburgh. He got hurt, and then they kind of they didn't really replace him. They just moved on from him.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it almost makes you wonder about the scheme they have for offenses. Like, you use Connor in a different way so he does better, and you have a different kind of quarterback, because we know that the quarterback in Arizona is completely different than the quarterback over in Pittsburgh.
That was in Pittsburgh, yeah. All right.
Defensively, you play them differently.
Yeah.
All right. So next we have the Los Angeles Rams.
The defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams.
The defending Super Bowl champions Los Angeles Rams. They re-signed Allen Robinson II. Well, the signings they did. Joe Noteboom. Of course, he is the offensive lineman. Brian Allen.
Yeah.
And Brandon Powell. I don't know. I think Powell is probably one of the better ones. I don't know who Noteboom is. If I had ever heard of a Noteboom, I would have remembered that Noteboom.
I think Allen Robinson's their good sign. But they're a lot of the things they did was re-sign or extend players.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean they got to bring back a lot of players already from their Super Bowl winning team.
Well, the rumor is that.
What about what's his face that got there halfway through the season?
OBJ.
Has anybody heard
he's still recovering from knee surgery? The rumors are the Rams want to sign him when he's healthy, but they're not going to want to pay him full price. They're going to want another 1-year deal, so he can stay healthy, and I don't think he's going to want to do that. So I think he's going to end up probably once he's healthy, he's going to start shopping himself, and some team that's on a run for the postseason is going to lose like a Godwin or something and pull him in.
So you're
and
saying
he'll want a
Tampa?
multi-year deal.
You think Brown's going to try to go over there?
I heard the Browns were talking about it, but the Browns want him healthy after the fiasco. Ontario.
God damn it.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. You think he will go over to the Rams?
I heard that no one has been interested in him after his
after his blow up in the sideline so far.
After his departure from the game in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Or wait, that game was in New Jersey.
Yes.
So, yeah, after that departure on the sidelines and losing it like that, I heard no team is even. Well, we lost to Smitty.
Oh, jeez. I'm sure he'll be back.
I'm sure he will.
All right.
Moving on to San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, San Francisco. Charvis Ward, Orkin Burke, George Odom, Ray McLeod, and Hassan Ridgeway. What are you trying to text them both? Tell Chris, hey, get back here? What kind of computer does he have that it does an update in the middle of a show? Hey, Chris is back.
Hi.
Smitty, we just lost Smitty, so it's perfect time. Smitty's back. Everybody's back.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Apparently, I thought,
Oh, okay, because Chris came back on. My internet decided to jack off.
Well, I thought I had it set on auto updates. Apparently, it didn't, and it just decided it was time to update my computer and just shut everything down.
Well, you didn't miss anything. We haven't got to college yet, so.
Please tell me you don't have you didn't upgrade to a Windows 11.
I don't know. I don't even know what's on this.
Oh, jeez. One of these days, I'm gonna have to go. We'll have to log in, and then I'll take a look at it. 'Cause if you updated 11, that's a whole separate issue. But that's besides the point. Anyhow.
So the San Francisco 49ers, I think their biggest signing is going to be the Charvarius Ward.
Yeah.
I think their biggest issue they got to deal with is Debo, because I feel like he's going to end up holding out.
Oh, yeah. He's most definitely going to hold out. I'll be surprised if we see him.
Well, the issue is if they hold it, according to the new CBA, if they hold out, they are fined $40,000 a day. He hasn't made that much money in his career yet.
Hey, that's true.
I mean, this is supposed to be his highest paying year, and I think he's out on the books for like $4 million. But he's not going to get that pay, and he's going to get fined $40,000 per day.
It might be one of those that he shows up to play, and he just walks through everything like half-assed to the point where he forces them to trade him away. Because if I wanted out and somebody said, no, we're not trading you, I would have been like, fine. I'm going to pretend like I'm going to play, and I will half-ass out everything. I ain't going to make sure I don't get hurt.
Well, no, then you just throw him out there and just throw the ball at him every time. But the thing is, if he shows that kind of...
That's true.
But the thing is, if he shows that kind of production on the field, no one's going to trade for him. No one's going to sign him when he's a free agent.
True.
He'll say, oh, well, I wasn't playing for them because they wouldn't trade me. Well, what happens if after a year or two you decide you don't want to play for us anymore? Why would we pay you money? Especially if you don't want to be a utility back anymore.
That's the hard game they play.
Yeah.
That's the hard game the owners or the GMs need to start taking and saying, nope, you're under contract. We don't want to trade you. You're stuck here. You're playing under your contract. Instead of just letting these players walk and be traded.
Well, the problem is a lot of these players think they play in the NBA and get the or the baseball MLB, and they actually run the show, and it's not the owners. Because if you play in the NBA or you play MLB, basically the players run the show. They choose where they want to be traded. All their contracts are guaranteed.
Yep.
They can decide who coaches.
I'm still here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's get to the last team in the West. Seattle Seahawks. They sign. Well, really, Smitty, that name to start off with. Uchenna
Nwasu.
Thank you, Chris. Was he a Buckeye?
No,
You just know
kind
it.
of.
It was just one of those names.
I just kind of sounded it out. Hooked on phonics.
I didn't do that whole hooked on phonics. It didn't work for me. Quentin Jefferson, Austin by
Bethel.
Artie Burns.
Is he related to Mr. Burns?
Probably. Quantre Diggs. Oh, he might be a little bit tanner than Mr. Burns. Sidney Jones, Al Woods, Rashad Penny, Will Dissel, and Kyle Fuller.
Disley?
Disley? I don't know who he is. Kyle Fuller. Hold on, he's a center. That's not the Kyle Fuller. Center guard. So I don't think that's the person I'm thinking of. Looks like they signed a lot of line guys. Cornerback, free. Oh no, it's a little mix of all. You got a mix of everything up there.
Yeah,
they're Kyle Fuller.
Yeah,
they've signed a bunch.
Yeah, they got a mix of everything in the signs. Well, I guess they freed up a lot of space when they got rid of when they traded away
Wilson.
So.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what happens. You know, you get rid of your best player, and then you just throw whoever you can in there and say, hopefully we can make up for this guy that knows how to throw a ball. We'll just run it. Hopefully we'll play good defense.
We'll just get everything else. Good defense, good offensive line, some tight ends. I was surprised they didn't sign any QBs. So,
well, they re-signed the quarterback, their backup last year and whatnot.
I don't see a re-sign QB.
Right.
So who did they re-sign?
That was recent.
Oh, that was recent within the last.
Yeah. Because he was, and also because he was already under contract. I mean, I think he was already under contract. They just haven't done anything with him, so nothing changed with his actual contract.
So, do we think they're gonna pick up a QB in the draft this year?
I think they are. Well, they also did, well, maybe not, because they did get Drew Lock in trade, and they extended Geno Smith. That's who they extended.
Yeah,
that's who it was. Yeah.
All right, so we had some players retire, and then we'll get to your questions, Smitty.
Oh yes,
Jay Aliki,
Jay
Ajayi, running back.
Jay Ajayi, he used to play for Miami. Miami traded him.
Yep.
Brandon Brooks, he was a guard.
Brandon Cooks re-signed with.
Yes, I said
with Houston.
This is Brandon Brooks, who's a guard.
Because we all know Brandon Brooks, the excellent guard that played for 5 different teams.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anthony Levine. Levine.
He played for 12 different teams in 7 years.
He's a safety. Ben Roethlisberger. He played with 12 different girls in the same night. He's a QB. And
don't say that around your wife, man, because she will murder you.
Chris's wife.
No, your wife.
Gail doesn't care about
Your wife hates that
Roethlisberger.
man.
Oh yeah, she hates him. And Lee
I'm
Smith.
guessing it ain't technically your wife, but you know who I meant.
Yeah. She hates Roethlisberger. And Lee Smith, tight end, also retired so far. We had one man that retired and then decided not to retire anymore.
He doesn't count.
Yeah. All right, Smitty, ask your question away.
Yeah.
Bye, Smitty.
Okay. So I'm still here. It's just I everything seems very broken up right now, and I think it's my connection. So I figure if I stop the video part, the audio
Makes
part
sense.
will still work.
Look at Smitty thinking.
Yeah, unfortunately, just a big
yeah.
S on our video. I'll just
God
go-
forbid.
That's okay.
Okay. If you have the choice of having the best cornerback
Mhm.
of all time or the best receiver of all time, who do you put on your team playing against the other person?
So,
So you're saying
Like the
Jerry
best quarterback
Rice
of
or
all
Deion
time.
Sanders?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say you're
What?
playing Jerry Rice
Yes,
versus Deion
Deion
Sanders.
Sanders, Jerry Rice, 101. Who do you
If I
pick?
recall, Jerry Rice won that more often than Dion
Yeah.
did.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am taking the receiver.
Yeah, because even when Randy Moss played against the top tier cornerback, Randy Moss beat that every time.
Wait. Who was the top tier cornerback at that time?
Oh, that would have been Ty Law?
No,
No.
he actually became on the Patriots.
Yeah.
for a
he-
year.
oh, yeah.
I'm sure it was Revis Island.
Yeah.
It was Revis Island.
Revis.
It was.
It was.
Yeah.
And then he came to the Pats. So, yeah, I'm going with receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah, receiver.
Is that because the offense knows the play?
It,
Where they're going to go?
it's because the offense can push the corner into positions that they don't want to be in.
Yeah.
They have more leverage and more
Right.
opportunity to make
And-
the.
Oh, good.
I was saying, and make the the corner miss. Essentially, you got to think the corner backpedaling. Essentially,
I was going to say,
It's-
and the way the league calls pass interference these days, that
Yeah, it's just getting much worse.
half the time the corner barely touches them and they throw a flag for no reason.
Hell, the cornerback looks at them and the flag's coming out of there now. All right, Chris. The thing you've been
Okay.
waiting for.
all right. So I'm not gonna go through all these picks because we're gonna touch on this all very in depth next week. But I want to, I have from what I can see, the most updated one pulled up on ESPN, and the way that they did this, right, for the round, like for the first round, they alternated between McShay and Kuiper. So like McShay has pick 1, Kuiper has pick 2.
Yeah.
Right, and they alternated down. So, and this is a little different, so it could change. But the top 3, 4 picks are pretty much across the board. You have Aiden Hutchinson theoretically going first to Jacksonville, defensive end out of Michigan, probably the best defensive end in the country. And then you got Trayvon Walker, defensive end, Georgia, probably the second best. Basically the top 3 DNs in the country are going to, theoretically go within the first 3 to 4 picks. Kayvon Thibodeau out
So
of
it's going to be
Oregon.
a defensive player going first now.
Yeah, probably.
When was the last
I
time
know
a
some of the
defensive...
stuff had that offensive tackle out of Alabama going. So
yeah,
it just
Evan Neal.
it just depends on what Jacksonville does, honestly.
When's the last time a defensive player went first overall? It's been a long while, if I remember.
Yeah,
correctly.
it's been a little bit.
Jeremy, where'd you go? Where'd he go?
He's muted.
Oh, damn. I wonder if
Maybe he had to go to the bathroom.
he went to have to go to the potty.
Yeah.
Because Jeremy, if anybody was going to remember, Jeremy would remember when the last time a defensive player went first overall.
3 years ago.
3 years
Right.
ago?
Who was it?
Do you remember, Jeremy?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I feel like it was 3 to 5 years ago, though.
I feel like it was longer than 3, so I think we're closer to 5.
One of the things I do want to touch on, though, here They have at number 6 the Panthers taking Malik Willis, quarterback out of Liberty. I do not think a quarterback is going that high.
No.
I mean, I'd be very, very shocked to see a quarterback go that high.
So
what was his name?
Malik Willis. He's out of Liberty.
That's
what about the dude from Pittsburgh?
Kenny Pickett. They have him
Kenny
going.
Pickett.
They have him actually going, I think, at 20. Yeah, they have him going 20 to the Steelers.
Oh, I think Pickett goes before.
Yeah,
I do too.
So McShay has him
I
going
think.
at 11 to the Washington Commanders.
Yeah. So
the comments.
Yeah, because that was remember I said they were rotating picks.
Yeah.
So that was Kuiper's pick. One of the interesting
Kuiper's
things.
an idiot because.
Well, yeah, we know this.
2017
Pickett,
Myles
what
Garrett.
was Pickett, like 6'2", 6'4"? I mean,
I don't know.
So
he's a huge quarterback. And
It was 5 years ago.
Yeah. So you were right, 3 to 5, and I had a feeling it was longer. So yeah, 5 years, not bad. Yeah.
So, but I don't think Pickett's worthy of. I mean, I know it all depends on what teams need, but I mean, do you really pick a quarterback when you? I mean, you need a quarterback, but do you pick a quarterback that early when you can grab one in the second round?
Yeah.
I think the reason that they have Carolina because they don't have any picks in the second round. That's why he's saying that.
Okay.
So unless they trade down, which they could, and probably still get Pickett or Willis or even Howell out of North Carolina.
Oh, that's a good pick. But you wait for a second, you trade up from third to second, and you pick the guy from Carolina.
I don't think any of those quarterbacks make it out of the first round. I think everyone's going to push. I feel like there's just going to be a late push on quarterbacks.
That's crazy because I mean,
so everybody,
they
everybody
want that
I listen,
fifth-year option.
Everybody I'm listening to up here says they'll be surprised if any quarterbacks come out before pick 20.
There'll be a few here and there.
They're like all of sports networks up here are saying they wouldn't be surprised if these guys that have higher picks that they're expected to take a QB trade down to get more picks in the second and third round.
According to this, like the second round QBs, they got at 49, they got Howell out of North Carolina going to the Saints. And they've got the kid out of Ole Miss going to the Seahawks at 40, Matt Corral.
Well, that makes sense, but like I think Pickett's the best quarterback in the draft.
I mean, he was a Heisman finalist, so
right.
Yeah.
I think he's the best quarterback in the draft, but
this isn't. This is not a quarterback rich.
No, it's not.
draft
So
at
I
all.
don't see why any. I think it's right. I don't think no quarterback's going to be pulled prior to 20 or 25, or even maybe in the first round. I know it's the NFL, but Pickett isn't worth, in my opinion, a first round pick. I mean, I know that,
especially not number 11.
Who needs quarterbacks?
Saints,
Seattle,
Washington,
Carolina. Yeah, but Carolina needs other things too. Like Carolina can get that guy. What's his name? I think he's such a good cornerback. Oh my God, what's his name?
Quarter.
Cornerback. He played for Cincinnati. Oh God, help me here. Garden.
Cincinnati.
Garden.
You're talking Cincinnati, like the college?
Are you talking Stephon Gilmore?
No. It's like.
Oh, you're talking one coming out this year?
Yeah. He. God dang it! He played for Cincinnati. He's a cornerback.
Ahmad.
Yes, Ahmad. Garden.
So according to McShay's, they got him going.
Carolina can pick him instead on their first pick and get a quarterback later on.
Well, they have him going to Carolina at number 6.
Oh, do they?
So McShay does. That's why I said like they're gonna differ. It's just the list I happen to have pulled up. It alternates the picks.
Yeah, I don't know who put McShay's on our thing, but
the same person that put everything on our thing. That would be Mr. Smitty.
Yeah.
Mr. Retired Man.
Yeah, our retired Smitty.
Quarterback out of LSU. Stingel.
Yeah,
He'd be
McShay
a good pick
like everybody I listen to up here doesn't think there's a QB that's going before number 20.
And they shouldn't be.
And
These quarterbacks are not.
They really
McShay-
probably shouldn't.
Right, and McShay has Washington taking Kenny Pickett at 11.
Well, that
which-
is Washington, so.
Yeah, that's Washington's style anyways, when they really should just trade down, get
But
another
the,
pick
the
later.
issue is there's no one that wants to trade up this year.
No.
Right, because like this is such the difference between number pick. I think it was pick 20 and pick 48 or something like that. Is like the difference is almost next to nothing. They are so close this year for receivers and defensive backs that it's like you could trade any of those in any spot.
Honestly,
here's my
like one of
question.
the only teams that I think is going to maybe attempt to trade up, and if you believe the rumors, is the Bears wanting to try to get up to get Olave because they don't have a first-round pick at all.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah, I
that
would
would
move up
make
to get a
sense if they're
first-round
trying
pick.
to get a specific guy. But I really, like, as much as I would love to see Olave on the Bears, I don't see... I don't like the fact that you're going to end up potentially trading away more of the Bears' draft pick future to get one guy.
Yeah.
We did that with Khalil Mack, and you saw what happened there.
Well, would you prefer a Pro Bowl Hall of Famer offensive lineman or Pro Bowl Hall of Famer defensive lineman?
Defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Defense wins ball games.
So you would rather take someone like assuming that they're as good as they think to be, is like the what's his name, Walker from Georgia.
Trayvon Walker, yeah. I would I would take
Over
Hutchinson
Evan
Walker.
Neal?
The only reason I'd take an offensive lineman is if you're guaranteed 15 years of pretty much Pro Bowl caliber play.
If you had Witt, the dude from
That's fair.
you had
Someone
someone
that's-
of that caliber.
Someone that's going to come in and just from day one and just be a cornerstone of your offensive line for the next 12 to 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be basically
Okay.
the captain of that line?
Yeah. Yeah. But like
So this draft is gonna be
go ahead.
so this draft is gonna be edge rushers and offensive linemen.
And receivers.
And receivers.
Yes.
It's very receiver heavy. So
Yeah, it's a
that
lot of
was the next thing I was
receivers.
going to get
Like
to.
the dude from like what's
Bunch
his
of
name?
defensive
Chris
backs.
Olave or whatever from
Olave.
Ohio.
Olave.
Yes.
That's the one that Bears want to trade up for. They're gonna trade.
So-
they're gonna trade the farm for him.
That's that's the rumor. But like, so you can pretty much interchange like your first round receivers, right? You have Garrett Wilson, you have Drake London out of USC, Chris Olave, right? Jamison Williams out of Alabama. Like you can pretty much interchange all of them wherever you want to put them in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
They're all equally as talented. And out of the 4 people I just named, 3 of them played for Ohio State. Jamison Williams started at Ohio State, was like 4th on the depth chart, and then went to Alabama, was the leading receiver. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's his name? Hutchinson? He doesn't play for Ohio State. He plays for Michigan. So what's he gonna do?
oh yeah, he
I think
our
draft night.
offensive line was garbage this year, and he proved that.
So next week, night, Amanda. Next week we're gonna be on for the beginning of the draft, which starts at what 7:30, guys, if I remember correctly when we were talking, or does it start at
feel like-
8:30?
Sure.
We'll double check that.
We will double check that, but we will be on before the draft starts, and I think we are gonna see a lot
8
of.
p.m. Eastern coverage on ESPN.
So that means we are gonna get on here at 7. Try to be on at 7:45. Be live. Jeremy, we might. I want to talk to you after this, anyways. But I think we're gonna see a lot of picks because past years we've had people we expected to go and they went no problems. I think this year it's gonna be all over the place. I don't
Especially once you get out of the top 5 picks. I think
Yeah.
once you get outside of that top 5, things are gonna the people that you didn't think were gonna go as high as they do are going to, just because, like I said, there's so many positions right now that you have that level of player that they're almost interchangeable.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of like crazy picks that where we didn't expect them to go in the first round. Nobody expected them to go in the first round. Hell, they weren't expected to go until the second round, and they're
to the
all of a
point
sudden
where you're like,
they just we're not
like a second rounder that was going to go.
Yeah,
pick 7 is suddenly pick 11 in the first round, because that's what that team needed, and it was the best player for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And some of these
I
coaches,
will be interested to see where Desmond Ritter goes. He's the quarterback for Cincinnati.
So we'll try to have some information.
Yeah.
I know Jeremy will be on the Twitter. I don't know. I think Nate said he might join us for next week for the show because it's draft night.
He needs to.
Him and Jeremy in those Twitters and getting the picks before they were even announced was great.
Oh yeah, we were announcing the pick before it was picked, right?
Yeah,
I
almost
want
watched
to watch this because Travis may very well have a mutton chop going.
Yes, if it warms up to 60 this week, so everybody hope New England gets up to 60. I may have a full mutton chop to fill in with Nate and fill in to match Smitty, and then we'll have to trim this thing back up to short.
I think it's supposed to be in the 80s here this weekend.
Yeah.
I got 7 more years, Journey, before I can head south. 7 more years.
I'm right there with you, Jeremy. I got you. It was like
82 degrees here now.
Well, you're in Florida, Smitty.
So, Chris, now that you're back home permanently, why have me, you, and Smitty not met up at least for drinks or something at one point in time?
Because I'm too lazy to come up and say hi to him.
And I'm too lazy to drive down. Like, I will say, when I went down to Gulf Shores to see my kids, I did look to see if
where Taco City was.
Yeah, well, I looked to see how close it was. He's closer to like the Destin, Pensacola area.
Yeah, he would drive right past me. It's like a 2-hour detour at least.
I would have to go, like another hour and a half east from where I was at.
Yeah,
you know,
so I did think about him.
There was during the kids' vacation week, I almost went down to Taco City just to mess with Smitty.
You should have.
It's like an 8-hour drive.
I will tell you.
No, I looked at
Pensacola,
it's 6.5 hours because when we were down there visiting you, Jeremy, me and Gail talked about going to visit Smitty, but we didn't know where we would stay.
You stay right here in this house. You would all be crushed together in one bedroom.
I would show up in front of Taco City and like take a selfie in front of Taco City and send it to Smitty.
And Smitty like, here's my address. Come see me.
Or he'd be like, give me 10 minutes, I'll be there.
You all need to go to Taco City, take a picture, and give it to Nate because he'd be pissed off.
Yes.
All of you, be at Taco City before him.
All right, guys.
On a flight.
I think we're gonna have a good time next week. We'll be on for our normal season our normal draft special, and then we'll just be on hiatus until the preseason. We'll start the week before, but we will see you next week. Same damn time, same damn channel. Well, where did? All right, bye everybody. I can't.